The palace is breathtaking, but for Selene, its golden walls are nothing more than a prison. Whispers of doubt follow her every step. But when jealousy strikes and old enemies circle in the shadows, Selene must decide. Will she hide behind the Alpha King, or finally claim her place at his side? The palace walls were beautiful, but they felt like a prison. I spent the next morning wandering the vast corridors, each step echoing against marble floors polished so bright I could see my reflection. Golden light streamed in through arched windows, illuminating tapestries of ancient battles. Wolves clashing under blood-red moons, kings crowned with fire and steel. Everywhere I turned, guards watched. Servants paused to bow but whispered as soon as I passed. I caught fragments of their murmurs. She's too plain. She won't last. The king must be bewitched. Their words clung to me like thorns, and no matter how much I tried to straighten my spine, shame pressed down on me. I didn't belong here. Not in this palace. Not at his side. Selene. The sound of my name made me jump. I turned to find him at the end of the corridor, his tall frame commanding the space with ease. His dark hair caught the light, his eyes blazing with the same fire that unsettled and steadied me all at once. "My lord," I whispered, bowing instinctively. His jaw tightened. In 2 strides, he closed the distance between us, his hand lifting my chin until I had no choice but to meet his gaze. "Do not bow to me," he said firmly. "You are not my servant. You are my equal." The word struck me harder than any insult I had endured. Equal. No one had ever called me that. "I don't feel like your equal," I admitted softly. His gaze softened, though his hand remained firm beneath my chin. "In time, you will." Later that day, I was escorted to the training grounds. The Alpha wanted me to see his warriors, to understand the strength of the pack I was meant to lead alongside him. Rows of men and women sparred under the sun, their bodies glistening with sweat, their movements sharp and precise. The air was thick with the sound of fists striking flesh, the clash of steel against steel, the guttural growls of wolves half-shifted. At the center of it all stood a tall man with scarred arms and eyes like cold stone. He bowed briefly to the Alpha, but when his gaze shifted to me, it hardened. "This is Commander Garron," the Alpha said. "My most trusted general." "My king," Garron replied, his voice steady though his eyes never left me. "And your chosen mate." There was no warmth in his tone. Only skepticism. "Do you question the moon goddess's choice?" the Alpha asked, his voice calm but edged with warning. Gron's jaw tightened. "I only question whether she can survive in a world like ours." The words sliced through me, but before shame could swallow me whole, the Alpha's hand brushed mine, subtle, grounding. "She will not only survive," he said coldly. "She will thrive. Because she is mine." But Garron was not the only one who doubted. Later, as the warriors dispersed, Lady Maren appeared at the edge of the grounds, her golden curls gleaming in the sunlight. She wore a gown far too fine for the dust of the arena, but her smile was sharp as a blade. "My king," she said sweetly, bowing low. Then her eyes slid to me. "And his Luna." The word dripped with venom. The Alpha's arm tensed beside me, but before he could speak, Maren stepped closer. "It's strange, isn't it?" she said, her voice carrying so all could hear. "How the moon goddess would choose someone so unworthy." Heat rushed to my cheeks. My hands trembled at my sides. "She has no wolf," Maren continued, circling me like a predator. "No training. No heritage. What kind of Luna hides behind the Alpha instead of standing beside him?" The gathered warriors murmured, some nodding in agreement. I wanted to vanish, to crumble into dust and let the wind scatter me away. But then his hand brushed mine again, firm and steady. His voice was low, meant only for me. "Do you want me to silence her?" I swallowed hard. A part of me wanted to scream yes, to let him use his power to crush her cruel words. But another part, the small, trembling spark buried deep inside me, wanted something else. "No," I whispered back. "Let me." His eyes flickered with surprise, then pride. I turned to face Maren. My voice shook, but I forced the words out. "You speak of wolves and bloodlines as if they are the only things that matter. But strength is not always in claws or heritage. Sometimes it is in survival. And I have survived more than you can imagine. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Maren's smile faltered, just slightly. Pretty words, she sneered. But words will not protect you when enemies come. Perhaps not, I said, my voice steadier now. But neither will beauty. Her face flushed crimson, her perfect composure cracking. She opened her mouth to retort, but the alpha's growl cut her off. Enough. His voice thundered across the grounds. If any here doubt her, they doubt me. And I will not tolerate it. Silence fell. Even Maren bowed her head, though the fury in her eyes promised this was not over. That night, I found myself standing on the balcony of my chamber, the cool night air wrapping around me. The stars glittered above, distant and cold, while the moon hung heavy, watching. I replayed the day in my mind, the doubt in Garron's eyes, the venom in Maren's words, the murmurs of the crowd. And yet, I had stood. I had spoken. For the first time in my life, I hadn't been invisible. You were magnificent today. I turned, startled. The alpha leaned against the doorway, his dark hair tousled, his eyes softer than I had ever seen. No, I said quickly. I was terrified. Courage is not the absence of fear, he replied, stepping closer. It is choosing to stand despite it. My chest ached, my heart beating faster as he came to stand beside me, his presence overwhelming, his warmth brushing against my skin. I don't know if I can be what they expect, I whispered. You don't need to be what they expect, he said firmly. His hand reached for mine, fingers intertwining. You only need to be what you are. And that is enough. More than enough. The bond between us pulsed, stronger now, like a flame growing into fire. I felt it in my chest, my blood, my soul. And for the first time, I let myself believe, just a little, that maybe he was right. But far below the balcony, hidden in the shadows of the courtyard, the same figure I had seen before lingered once more. Watching. Waiting. And this time, I thought I heard it whisper my name. Selene. If this chapter gripped your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a moment of Selene's journey. More chapters of the Alpha King's hidden mate are coming soon here on Whispers and Tales of Romance.